It's Amazonian, right?
Yes, Amazonian. Yes, yes, it's Amazonian. That's
Now, I want
awesome.
to talk about that because you said like development. So, like, what kind of things are you guys working on personally?
Yep. So I'm working on, so when COVID hit, tours themselves were very much one person thing. It's my tours at my building and I lead this department. But now with them being globally, I've taken on a different hat as I help mentor other tour leaders. So now I've become what we call a co-captain. So me and another co-captain lead 7 other tour leaders. And so now what my boss is saying, Tony, you're a perfect people manager. I want you to develop your skills. So they have me taking classes on how to be a better people manager and how to develop my skills here at Amazon for the next level. Now, I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know what my next career growth is here at Amazon, but they're working on right now. They're seeing my potential of what we're doing and saying, hey, Tony, this is what you're good in. Here's some classes and here's some trainings and here's some places to go to develop those skills. So that's happening currently with me. Amazon is also working on what's called career choice. So inside of our buildings like MSP1 and all across Amazon, employees can go back to school for a 1-year college certificate or a 2-year college degree, and Amazon will pay 95% upfront. So they want to make sure that we're paying for it upfront so people don't have to pay for that while they're going to school, right? They want it to be upfront. So yeah, so that's called Amazon Career Choice, where people can go back for nursing assistant, even welding is in there, commercial driver's license. But yeah.
I see.
That's all I got to say.
Does the role, like, basically, if you go for this 1 to 2 year, this certification or this
Yep.
Associate's degree program, does the role have to be within the organization? Like, is that the goal?
Nope. No, not at all. It could be anywhere. We can be, and a lot of the classes here at Amazon, we have teachers come on site before COVID happened, on site. So they would work and then they would leave work. They'd come take their college classes on site, which was awesome because then they're right here. Also, we can, people can leave work and we can adjust their schedules and stuff like that. But yeah.
So one of the things that we need to make sure that we do when we do a career choice offering like this is to make sure that our associates know about it. Make sure that they're aware. Make sure that if they do have that desire to expand their education outside of Amazon through career choice, we can absolutely assist with that, but we need to make sure they know about it. So as the engagement AM, it's a really great opportunity I have to go out into our building, explain what career choice is, explain the benefits, the continuing education, the way that Amazon can improve your career, even if it's not directly in this building or with Amazon. I had a great story. A young woman named Brooke, who was a hard worker, but Amazon was not her passion. Her passion, similar to mine, was helping people, right? And so she was able to, through our career choice program, she was able to get certified for a computer web developer, I think was exactly what it was, and it took her into the medical field, which was where her heart and soul aligned with. And we still keep in touch, and she's doing absolutely spectacular. And it was all because of this grand scope that Amazon has in terms of just continuously making careers for people and improving those careers.
And I love how you're just building the awareness internally, because I'm sure you can easily work for a large organization like such as yours and kind of not know what's available for you, right?
Yeah,
I love
that's what Ben's here to do that, make sure that everybody knows. And I don't want to talk about Ben's job, but he really takes, he really is good at, I got in one of his classes the other day, a brand new class that when people come to Amazon, he takes them after week 1, Ben? And just talks to them. Yeah, and I got to sit in and it was awesome. It was a really good class, Ben.
The criticism was minimal from Tony, so I take that as a very high compliment. But yes, it's always good to be able to share these opportunities with people when they first come in the door, right? People may be coming in here, they have no idea what Amazon's about or how it can help build their career. And that particular class that Tony's referring to is just a staple with our new associates to let them know from the beginning how much we care about their their development.
Needless to say, give me a snapshot of your day-to-day, kind of like what is a normal day for you?
Normal day for me, all right, the $1 million question. I really have, Shay, three main things that I focus on every day. Number one is being there for our associates, being there to make sure that we know their name, right? That they feel valued, that they are confident that they can come to me and I will help to develop them to the best that they can be. That is number one. And again, with number one, the important thing to remember here is that small gestures sometimes go a long way, right? It doesn't have to be an hour spent with an individual. It can be something as simple as a hand wave. It might be the nicest thing that happens to them all day. It might be exactly what they need at that given time, right? So that's number one. Number two, I help the managers. I help the managers to do that same thing. And this comes from classes. This comes from training. This comes from one-on-one, because everyone here knows that as one person, you can only do so many things, right? And it really is, it's a higher calling to be able to train other people to do what you do well. Okay, so that's the second thing. And number three is being there for the community. It's a huge aspect of this role that is just getting bigger. Amazon, one of our leadership principles is with grants, with big scale comes big responsibility. I'm summarizing that, but it's so true. And we just finished up this wonderful event in the community. It was a back to school event that we did, in which we donated 500 backpacks to 2 of the local elementary schools. And all of these backpacks had school supplies that we put in them. And it was really a cool event that we partnered with the PR team with. And we got to have members of the leadership from the school district come into our building and do a brief little ceremony. And then we got to roll up our sleeves and actually transport the backpacks to the schools. We got a ton of great pictures. We got some great interviews. And most importantly, it just showed that Amazon doesn't want any kid to go back to school underprepared, right? Because they may not be able to afford a backpack, or they may not be able to have all the school supplies we need. That was the point of this project. And seeing the look on the teachers and the administrators' faces when we delivered those backpacks was just priceless. And it's something I'll remember forever. So that was a really significant event in my role and for the community. So great event.
I love that. And what I like about your job, it seems like you kind of humanize the role a bit. I can see where your father's teachings and all those things that you learn, because you really can't teach those things. You can't really teach empathy and how to connect with others. That's kind of something inbred in you, and you seem to like channel that really well. So kudos to you, Ben. So you have a nickname, right? Don't they call you the mayor?
Yes, that was something, and I do not know where it originated from.
Okay, it wasn't self-promoted.
It wasn't. It may have been Tony.
Yeah.
It may have been Tony who
came
up with that.
Yeah.
Right, on his door, right. He started
I gave him a hat. Yeah. He's got a button. He's got a button. Yeah, it's all. He's got it all.
The more I think about it, it was kind of comical at first, but it is applicable, right? It is applicable.
Yeah.
There are things when you take an organization and you develop a sense of belonging with the community, and it's not just 2 separate entities, but it's one community working together. I guess you could say that's what the mayor does, but I mean that is just it's so difficult to do, but it's so crucial in order to optimize relationships in the community. You have to do it. So it's been an absolute pleasure to do these extensions into the community, and I look forward for much more to come as we go into the busy holiday season and beyond.
Mm-hmm. So my day-to-day now is virtual. So it used to all be in person. Anybody could come in the building, ages 6 years of age and older. I would see every senior vice president in town of a Fortune 500 company, or the Girl Scouts and everybody and talk to them. And now that's become virtual. So now what I'm working on is I work with a department called Amazon Future Engineers, and it helps underserved areas learn STEP technology. So we're teaching kids how computer science works inside of our buildings. So they're free tours. Anybody can watch them all around the world. And so basically I give about 2 tours a day with a team. So it takes about 4 of us to put on 1 tour. And we speak to people, once again, globally. I mean, Indonesia we had the other day. Where did we have somebody from? Where were they at? Over in, I forget, literally all over the world. People can chat with us and type us and tell us where they're calling from. We've got these cool, Lego teams where they take Legos and they make them into robots and stuff like that, or high school kids, college kids. So now we're working with Amazon Future Engineers to teach STEM technology. So I do 2 of them a day. And then the amazing thing about that is I get to once again be my authentic self. I literally do them right here. This is how I do them. And then we have people on the floor as well that are showing the live interactions of how we use robots and people put together to make Amazon magic happen. But yeah, I get to be my authentic self and speak to the world at how cool Amazon is. When I'm not doing tours, I do whatever I want to. My boss is fine with me taking on extra work onto my plate, and me developing in other areas. So that backpack event. Wow, I talk for a living and I can't do it today, Shay. Can't do it today. So the backpack event, I said that was Ben's project he was working on. I basically just went to Ben and said, hey, I am free at these times. How can I help you? How can I be an assistance to you? How can I build a relationship with Ben and an assist, right? So maybe it was just me helping carrying the boxes out to the car. And once we got to the car, bring them into the school. But that simple thing of building a relationship, now I've earned trust of Ben, even though we've always been great coworkers and I don't need to earn trust with Ben. But those simple things of earning trust of your coworker and me being able to help out to an event that I thought was cool. I thought it was very great that we're giving back to the community, and I wanted some help in that. So I freed my calendar at a certain time and said, I'm going to help out with the event here. And my boss was all for it, even though it was outside of my department. Still building relationships, helping out, and doing other things. I like to do that. So yeah.
What I like about this conversation is I don't think this is what people think of when they think of an Amazon career, right? Mm-hmm. They're not thinking about philanthropy or theater or, or computer science or Legos, or caring about how your day is going. Like, I don't think that's not, at your forefront. You get people thinking crime, 2-day boxes, assembly lines, that sort of thing. I think that is what people's thoughts. So I want to talk about like misconceptions. Like, do you guys feel like there are many people who misunderstand maybe what your role is or how important your role is and what Amazon does and that sort of thing? Can we talk about kind of sort of the organizational misconceptions on your role and all of those things and what you do about those?
I think that's my whole job. That's literally my whole job. Is there's misconceptions out there about Amazon. There's tons of it about people just having their own thoughts of what these buildings are. And nothing better than what I get to do is bring people into the building and just say, here's the building. Here's a normal day. These tours, we do them every single day, Monday through Friday, at morning and afternoon, and just bring people in and see for themselves. Then you can form your own opinion, and not what you read online or what somebody said about Amazon, but take your own opinion. And what a lot of times I would say to people is, I talk for an hour on this tour. Sometimes don't even listen to what I'm saying. Take in the people around you, just watch them, right? They're doing their job, they're smiling, they're having a good time. Watch the interactions, which I'm not focusing on, because there you see the true authentic Amazon of people like Ben, who's walking up to an associate, checking in on them. How are they doing? Hey, did you hear about career choice? Can I tell you about that? Things like that, right? That's not in the tour. That's what real Amazon is. So I love to bring people in and go, whoa, this is not what I thought it was going to be like. I thought people were going to be running around like crazy because my package is coming tomorrow. And it's such a well-oiled human machine that it's just done properly that those packages get out the door like they should. but it's not as crazy as people would think. Right? You said 2 days. Oh my gosh, it's got to get out here now. It's the help of the robotics and the people working together that can get that product out the door. So there is a lot of misconceptions, and my whole job is I get to show people and tell the truth of Amazon and show you what it really is. And I love it. And that's what I'm told, speak my true authentic self and tell the stories that you want to tell, and go back to, somebody may have a question about something that's happening in Seattle. And what I can say is, I don't know what's happening in Seattle, but I can tell you here that in this building, that's not true. And I can say, this is from my own perspective, what I've seen, what I've experienced, and what I live my truth every single day.
Just like Tony was saying, he does a wonderful job at kind of doing all he can to change those misperceptions of people who may be on the outside looking in. One of the things that I really try to do is change it from the inside out as well. I think that's important as well. And that was kind of what originated this role for me. I remember in fall of last year, I had spent a lot of time at Amazon kind of telling my leaders, telling my network that my passion was people, and kind of outlining steps that I could do to benefit people if I was given a role that would allow me to do so. And in fall of last year, Adam Swift, who was a senior operations manager at the time, came up and said, Ben, we're thinking of creating this new role. All right, we're thinking of creating this role about engagement, and we want you to do it. And that, for me, that was it. That set into motion a chain of events that, looking back on it, has just been so instrumental towards changing the mindset of people inside the building through engagement, not through negativity or misperceptions, but through actual genuine engagement. And it's worked so well, Shay, that this hasn't happened yet, but there are plans in the works throughout the network to expand this role so that each building would also have an engagement area manager in their building, which I think, for me, that's the pinnacle, right? That is the goal. That goes back to what I was saying about one person doing everything or many people accomplishing the bigger goal. And Amazon thinks big, and that's exactly what they're doing here. And I'm just so excited to look forward and see the expansion that hopefully comes from this role, and just the overall benefit that it has of dispelling these misperceptions and showing what a great company Amazon is. Because it is, there's no other way around it. A great starter role really is for just a person walking in. A starting role is in the operation, and it's really beneficial that it is that way, because it gives you a broad view of how this building, MSP1, works. All right, it just gives you a very general background. Now, that being said, I would advise people to determine their strengths early, determine what their passion is early, and then use their networks to ask their leaders what is possible. When I alluded to it earlier, when I was a tier 1 and I started telling people my passion is engage, they jumped on that hook, line, and sinker. And 3 years later, I'm the first and only engagement AM in the network, with plans to make it bigger throughout the network. But to people who are in that position saying, well, I really want to do this, be bold. Be bold. You cannot be timid with this. You have to be bold in what you want to do. You have to let people know, and you can't be afraid to do it. I think it was Aristotle who said, fortune favors the bold. And it's no truer than it is in this building, and I'm a perfect example of that.
For me, it's like, I'll be brutally honest, I didn't see myself in operations working in a fulfillment center. So for me, I was like, I wouldn't necessarily maybe want to start there in my journey of public speaking and engaging in the community. But what I do say is, I look to Ben as I look to him because he created his own role that I don't know if actually, no, Ben, I did tell you this. the other day I couldn't help Ben out with something because I literally put a meeting together with one of our senior leaders. He's been at Amazon since 1997, and Amazon started in 94, 95, right? So he's one of the originals, about how I want to create my own role within Amazon, within my department. You know, I've been here for years now, but I see something that we're maybe missing. Can I create this into a role? But I look to Ben as somebody who created his own role, and that's a possibility at Amazon. But now I'm kind of rambling. Let's go back to the question of where should somebody start? I just had to put in there that I look to Ben as someone who created his old role as an inspiration for me to do the same within my department, to create my role, because I know I want to stay here. But one thing, going back to the beginning with connections and LinkedIn is still a great place. I see a lot of my coworkers are putting up, hey, if you know anybody in this field, I'm looking for this employee to do this specific role, and I'll reshare those, or I'll like those, or I'll pass along that. So I think it's really big at Amazon, at least in my view, is to go back to LinkedIn and look at some of those careers that people are posting, making that connection, making that story. Hey, you work at Amazon? Can you tell me about this? Starting that conversation, even if it's with somebody you don't know, maybe awkward at first, but if somebody gives you that chance to respond to somebody you may not know, to say, hey, yeah, I know somebody, they're looking for this X, Y, and Z in this place, you would be a great fit. It's all about those connections, which we started up at the beginning.
That's right, and I love how you just brought it all back home. It's 180. I love it. I love it. Yeah. Seriously, I love everything that you guys are saying, because I just think that this is why I started the podcast, because these kind of things, everything that you're saying, it works internally within your organization and outside as well. Connections, being bold, letting people know what you want, finding your own role. All of these are this is such great, just basic core career advice for anyone, because sometimes we aren't bold enough. Sometimes we allow other people to take our roles because they were more willing to put themselves out there, to be vulnerable, to ask questions, to be inquisitive, to use inquiry and your curiosity, right? And I just think that that's what we should be doing in our careers.
You know, we have these principles: bias for action, learn and be curious. And that's a big one. Learn and be curious. Learn and be curious about your role and how can it continue on? Because I'm always curious. So, you know, I think I'm an expert in these tours, right? But I'm not an expert enough to not be curious to learn more. And so, yeah. I don't know where that came from, but you said something about being bold and curious, so I brought it in there.
You guys brought it to me, because I just feel like all of the things you guys are saying is, even though I hadn't even asked about, core, career advice, you guys have been giving it and embodying that. You're speaking about Amazon, but really that is a collective thought for your career. So I appreciate you guys, bringing that up. What are your last leaving advice for all those people who want to apply, who's going to have fun coming and starting a career, like on your career day, and just applying and getting started? Tell them about what to look forward to and any advice if they were to get started.
I'll start. Jump in with both feet. Jump in with both feet. There's no reason to complicate it. It goes right back to what I said earlier about being bold. Amazon is not a place that rewards timidity. It rewards boldness. So jump in, be bold. We'll have fun and make history together.
I think just keep going and keep with it. Like I said in the beginning, it took me a year to get to Amazon. You know, my background is not your normal, I was an accountant and I'm going for an accountant role, going for something different and unique, a cool career that you may not think of, right? So just stick with it, keep applying, keep talking, keep connecting. I did not stop for a year, and I was looking every week, applying for jobs that I could, maybe that were outside my realm, but if I at least can get to talking to somebody, interacting with somebody, then that's a win for me. If I didn't get that job, it still is one place better than I was the last day. So when I got here at Amazon, I'm here now for years. I'm going to stay here for years. I'm going to learn and be curious. And I've made myself a career here at Amazon, not just a job. So yeah, keep going.
You guys said a lot of really important things today. I really appreciate all of your gems that you were dropping for myself and the audience, because I just think that reconfirming all the beliefs that we have in our head when someone else says it just makes it more true. From a recruiting standpoint, you both are in the perfect jobs. I don't even know what you could be doing after this. I say you stay where you are. We don't want to limit you at all. All I'm saying is that sometimes, we're always looking for where our passions will be. And it sounds like you guys are really in the right place. And it makes really good sense that that your job is cool, or is considered cool, identified as, someone to talk to about your role. So kudos to you guys. Congratulations to choosing a great organization and being chosen, right? So I've enjoyed all of our conversation. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being the first, I would say, team corporate partnership to have. This has been so valuable. Thank you so much. All of our listeners are going to love this. The audience is going to love this. And your coworkers, all of your colleagues around the globe are going to love it. So you represented very well. Good job, guys.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun. This was good.
Thank you,
good
Shay.
talk.
You too. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
See you.
Thank you.